In part 1, we saw that government is a monopoly, so the price of government must be directly controlled by the customers. That is, government income must be directly controlled by the citizens. We'll now see how we can express this idea in a graphically intuitive manner. The absence of a citizen-controlled ceiling on government income means that in ratifying the Constitution, the American people signed a blank check payable to the United States government. In this light, it becomes obvious why government grows without restraint. We've given government a blank check. Imagine how profoundly different our personal life would be if we were given a blank check to use in paying for our personal expenses. As it is, each of us must prioritize our goals and limit ourselves to the highest priority goals that we can afford. But if we were instead given a blank check, we'd have no such limit, so we'd keep expanding our list of expenses with no end in sight. This is exactly what government does. This is why government grows without restraint. We've given government a blank check. So how do we solve the problem? Well, we do the obvious. We tear up the blank check. We tear up the blank check and replace it with a filled-in check. The filled-in check places a ceiling on government income, and the ceiling is expressed as a fraction of the size of the economy, or GDP. Now government income will be limited by the people, for it is the people who earn the money to provide the income to the government. More precisely, the price ceiling will limit income plus accumulated debt. Now the members of Congress will be limited to using the amount of income plus debt that the people are willing to allow the government. Congress will no longer be able to coerce an arbitrary amount of money from the people, or impose on the people an arbitrary amount of debt. Rather, the people will decide how much money they are willing to give to the government, together with how much debt they are willing to incur under the auspices of the government. We can readily see that this solves the problem of unrestrained government growth, and in fact, that it is the only solution for the problem. And this solution will be established by approving the People's Amendment. Let's return now to the scenario with which I began this video. The water is up to our waist and few people can remember a time that it wasn't. Most people don't like the water so high, but no one has a clue how to reduce the water level, so no one ever talks about reducing it. With the People's Amendment in place, this will decisively change. For the price ceiling on government will be the people's ceiling. With the people's price ceiling in place, to uphold the ceiling is to uphold the will of the people, and this is what democracy is essentially about. Furthermore, the People's Amendment will make it possible for the people to use an initiative process to put a measure to change the ceiling on the ballot every 2 years, at the time of the regular congressional elections. Raising the ceiling will require a 2/3 vote of the people, while lowering the ceiling will require only a majority vote. And in order to preserve the federal structure of the nation, such a vote must be carried in 2 tallies, the tally by state and the tally by the nation as a whole. The first tally requires a majority or a 2/3 vote of the states, while the second tally requires a majority or a 2/3 vote of the people of the nation. So, with the People's Amendment in place, the people will finally have a way to reduce the water level, for the people will be able to use an initiative process to put a measure on the ballot to reduce the ceiling. If the ceiling is reduced bit by bit over time, government will be forced to be ever more efficient in its operations, and to delegate ever more activities to the private sector, where they will benefit from the incentives of competition. In this video, we've seen what's wrong with government. In the next video, we'll see what's not wrong with government.